Thank you very much, Memafu Kavara. Thank you for being the host of this program, a wonderful master of ceremonies, a very renowned voice in the public space. I want to appreciate all leaders who have showed up tonight. Thank you, Governor Kako, for your continued leadership role in making sure our national events in Port Moresby is fitting and appropriate. I just want all of us to give a round of applause to Governor Kako and his leaders. And I appreciate Governor Jufa and Minister Siamaleli, our regional member for Bougainville, for being present in person. I want to acknowledge all the other leaders who have informed us that in their districts and provinces throughout our country, they do also mobilize in solemn respect for the late great Grand Chief, as well as his peers, his generation of Papua New Guineans who are passing on. I acknowledge all our members of our diplomatic family who are here. They continue to stand with us every moment. Since 1975, or when they have established their missions, they have never failed to be present in significant national moments, and sincerely appreciate each and every one of you who are present here today. You have played your part, and the country is where we are today also with your help. I just want to appreciate all nations who are represented here this evening. All our heads of government agencies and departments who are here, Commander of the PNG Defense Force, and I want to acknowledge all citizens who are here, our senior citizens. Sadati represents the class of our senior citizen. Sadati, thank you very much. Thank you, Bada area. Thank you for your presence. We do appreciate your presence. At a personal level, he was a very close friend of Sir Michael. When I came into elected office over 18 years ago, I would see them playing golf, and they were fierce competitors at the golf course. And said that he still plays golf today. I want to appreciate your presence here. Said that. And all of us who are present, sincere, thank you very much for each and every one of you who are present today. I do acknowledge our leaders from our church fraternity, PNG Council of Church. Thank you for your presence here. And right throughout the country, I acknowledge all citizens who pay respect and homage to the pillars and founders of our country. I appreciate media who are in broadcasting these events throughout our country. I want to appreciate all of you who are in person here. Thank you to each of you. Thank you, Bada area. In the language of the Keapara singers, they would say, thank you, come, come. To each of every one of you who are here today, sincerely appreciate your in person to give respect to the father of our country. It doesn't happen every time. Usually in every nation, there's few standout figures in each nation. For us in Papua New Guinea, you can have no one greater than the late Right Honorable Great Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare. And I want to say thank you to all of you who are in person here, who have participated, to my children from Caritas. You made my hair rise today when you sang our two songs. And not only the words that came out, I saw you not singing from your lips, but you sang from the inner core of your heart. And I want to appreciate each and everyone. There's a difference between that. I want to say to all the children of our country, your number one papa, Minister Marape, watch you when you sing. And I can tell a difference, but are you singing from just your lips or from your heart? Tonight I saw my daughters singing from the core of their soul and from their heart. And so thank you to the Caritas staff and faculty who continues to ingrain into our girls good values. And thank you to the girls, my daughters, you sang very well tonight. I could not be more prouder to witness my daughters who are in love with their country and give recognition to those who came for us. And I want to also appreciate PNG Defence Force. I just told your commander that we must put 100-man band for our independence. The best band we've ever had for up to today, we must put it for our independence. So you make our hair rise, and PNG Defence Force, our Royal PNG Constabulary, as well as our correctional services, let's get to work so that this independent, at least you assure all of us that our country is in safe hands in as far as you are concerned, and we are marching on towards the next 50. This evening is a fitting moment for us to recollect. 4 years have gone by. In life, he united this diverse nation. In death, he united still this diverse nation. Wow. There are too few men or women in our planet who can claim this possibility of uniting a nation. Some may have united a nation that speaks only one language, come from one cognitive stock. But this founder of our country united the most diverse nation on the face of planet Earth. Many languages, over 800 of them, all having their own cultural structures, and Somare and his generation rallied the nation together and united us into birth at 16 September 1975. And so as we gather here today, when I went to Wewak this morning, rising up very early, little hour of sleep last night, and my brother Somare, Arthur, brother, thank you very much for your presence here. He made mention that they appreciated the fact that I was up there. But I replied, it is my duty to be here to pay respect to this man. There can be no greater duty for every Papua New Guinean than to pay respect to those who have carved our present state of our country. Somare, his legacy lives on. His sacrifice, his unwavering commitment to Papua New Guinea independence, and not just independence, but his continuous service to our country. I want to say I was privileged enough to have shared parliament with this great man. When our nation was 32 years old, I entered politics in 2007. And the first contact with him, by the way, was when he came to Tari to endorse me as a candidate. He flew into Tari with no close protection. Only one cookie was there with him, and two other officials, NA party officials. He came unannounced, and he told people of Tari, I need you to elect this young man into office if you want to Hela province. And the rest is history. I arrived into politics then. But it's not about me. I want to make a reference point. In government formation in Barangoi, 2007, he made a fundamental statement that left a lasting imprint in my public policy outlook. And he recollected the years leading up to 1975, and he stated that in those years, there were many naysayers. There were many who said, we cannot do it. There were many who said, no, it's not possible. How can you do it? But he was persistent, and one of the main points that they were saying that you cannot do it at the time was the very fact that we had less educated Papua New Guineans in 1975. And Sir Michael said, and I'm rephrasing him, he said, in the bilums of all the mothers of this country are men and women who will be the educated ones running this country into time. And as he spoke and charged us, members of parliament, by then in 2007, a substantial lot of us had first degree and second degrees. And he said, at 75, we vested political independence. In 2007, going forward, you must construct economic independence for your country. Now you know where I get my economic independence mantra from. My mentor, my strong support, and his public policy outlook. This is where he charged us in 2007. Sometimes I wish St. Michael had undisturbed minimum 10 years of public life as our nation was battered into independence. But I am educated this evening when I saw the President, Deputy Prime Minister of Australia, when he said, St. Michael in 1980 taught all of us an important lesson that leadership is not something for one person. It is a process that sets up leadership, and when the parliamentary process elected Sir Julius, he vacated office, a wonderful lesson at the very early stage of our democracy. Papua New Guinea, let's not take this for granted. He was very popular. He could have fought on. He could have hung on to power. Or in 1975, he could have constructed a government system that gave him unfettered power for a longer period. But he chose not for himself, but he chose for this diverse nation. Fundamental tenets of democracy that must unite our most diverse nation. And I want to, in this moment, as a nation faced 50 years of independence, I want to impress and re-echo his character to us, today's generation, and children who will come after us, even in politics or public service, that leadership is not about self, but others. It's not about one, but all. It's not about your personal ego and interests and ambitions, but together what is good for the country. St. Michael was an epitome of these riches and characters, and today we look back, I am blessed that I have sat under his feet, and I will try my absolute best to render to this country a better service than what I've been doing the last 6 years. And I ask each and every one of us, you don't need to be a Prime Minister to render service to your country. You don't need to be a Minister of State. We will do our part. But wherever you are stationed in the far length and breadth of our country, including Port Moresby, let us too, as we celebrate his 4 years of passing, on the eve of our nation's 50 years of nationhood, let us reflect on his character, his legacies, his riches, and what he stands for, and submit ourselves into the type of person we must be if we truly love this country. St. Julius and every other fathers of our country knew who St. Michael was. He was bold, he was determined, he was visionary, he was courageous. And I want to say at this juncture, Papua New Guineans, let's not take 1975 for granted. I came out from reading some literatures in Australia, archives and library last week Friday, and I am still reading. There were contests that was at play, but by God's grace, through St. Michael and his team, they stood the course, they stood the ground, they remained focused. And only 7 years since his ascension into office as member for CIPIC in 1975, at the age of 39, he ushered Papua New Guinea into independence. I want to ask us, as we ponder about his role, what is it that we all must do for our country too? At young age, even in the 30s and late 20s, as St. Julius was, they were visionaries, they were focused, they were determined to serve the country, and they worked hard. To the younger Papuans today, as we all ponder about the service that the father of our country and his generation give, I ask us all this question: what is it that you too must give to your country? John F. Kennedy in 1961, the 43rd President of the United States, Ambassador, I may be wrong, but the 43rd President of the United States made a fundamental statement that is now universal. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Today we come out here in PNG uniforms. Our heart bleeds for PNG. We acknowledge Somare and his generation of leaders who worked for our country. Today we must ask ourselves, what is it that we too must do? The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. All of us together must cover the future for our country. It starts today. The past is locked in the annals and archives of our nation's history. Somare generation played their part. I did once ask, and I said this at St. Julius's funeral programs at Guise, and I'm going to repeat at St. Michael's Fort commemoration program. I sat with the late Edison Aguirre 2 weeks before he passed. In fact, my last conversation with him, I asked him this question. My brother Arthur knows about the 4.27% that was carved in the PNG LNG for the 5 provinces in the Netherlands. There was a portion, the 19% that would have been split between Hell and Southern Islands was left unsplit. And so I asked Governor then, asking, why did you not split it and you left it unsplit? Governor's reply is an all-time classical. He said, some things must be left for the future leaders to do. And I want to say today, some things are left for us to do. What is it that we must do? In the context of our nation facing 58, we cannot get back Somare. We cannot get back St. Julius. We cannot get back St. Peter Luce. We cannot get back St. Cecil Eber. We cannot get back our first Governor General, St. John Guise. We cannot get back St. Marikiki. We cannot get back the first leader of the party, St. Paul Lapun. We cannot get back, and the list goes on and on and on. They've done their part and they've called to rest according to God. It is now our time. It is not only Prime Minister's business to make what is called PNG Limited work for our future. It is our business collectively. Wherever you are stationed, right throughout the length and breadth of our country, from our 20 provinces, from our nation's capital, and from the spatial region of Bougainville, wherever you are, men, women, boys, girls, Memore bona kekene, tamaku bona sinaku, papa na mama, boy na girl, one of my Mistambo country. Somare died 4 years ago, Yumiolgara Aiwara. This place was the national house cry. Everyone, irrespective of where we came from, came out in total unity and in tears for the great man who laid down his life for our country. What is it that we must contribute to honor his legacy? I want to say thank you in my closing remarks to the Somare family. Thank you for giving your father. I want to say thank you to Lady Veronica. Thank you for giving your husband to be the father of this country. Quite the man of Somare family. And I speak as Prime Minister, knowing very well that when you're in office, you have little time for your own family. So to the Somare, Arthur, you and your siblings, we have not expressed this earlier. Let me say thank you very much Because you're part of the family, you don't work, you don't find employment in the public service. You have to do business as part of being children of the Prime Minister of our country. I say thank you very much to the siblings, your siblings and yourself, Arthur, Pastor Victor, thank you for people all. Mama is not yet, we wish him a continued long life until big man in yet. He's still on him, and he can look. Today he continue to look so well. Long big walk, Lady Veronica walking long Papa Somare. Fight a big hand of Lady Veronica, please. That's happened. I was privileged. 11 days before he passed, he called me to his house at Morocco. We were outside, we were sitting outside, long porch, and he broke the news to me that he had pancreatic cancer. I tried my best. I said, I'll organize for you to be medevac, etc. But he said he's lived his life. He feels he's come to the end of the road and he's reconciled himself. He's now prepared to let it go. And so after I finished talking with him, and he asked me to go into the living room. And in the living room was his dear soulmate, his wife, his partner of many years, seated also inside the living room. My brother Arthur was with me inside when I had this last conversation. That's why Papua New Guinea, I had to allow him to go back to Wewak, because I was with him when he spoke words, and only myself and Arthur knew about the words that he spoke. And I saw the couple totally committed to each other right to the end. And some very important lessons at the 4th anniversary, and as a nation faces 50 years, I want to make some fundamental points before I close. Leadership starts at the family. Leadership starts at the family. Don't mount yourself off in public space if you are not a good leader at your family set. Mary believe Masinan good na start. Beginning Masinan good na start. Papua New Guinea, to get up, get going, there's no rocket science and magic pill about it. It's at every father of our country today, as we ponder at the passing of the late great chief of our country. I want every husband, right across the length of our breadth of our country, go back to your wife today and honor your wife and the family. Somare taught me this before he passed on. I should have left the porch and gone out to my car and drove home. He asked me to go inside and pay respect to also Lady Veronica. Lesson I learned from him in the dying moments of his life are lessons that for me I'm privileged to have learned from him, and I want to pass on to us as we commemorate the 4th year of his passing, and in the face of a 50 years, as we, our generation, prepare to take this country on. Respecting your wife and having a stable family unit, first and first, number 1. Number 2, he was of service all the way till the end. Just like St. Julius, serving all the way till the end. Even if he's out of office, he had national consciousness on his duty to his country. Few occasions, I would bump into him or he would come to me. And I remember 2 very clearly. Because of time, I will not go down later on in life. When I write my book, I want you all to pick a copy and read the book and a chapter on Somare, and you will see what I mean. I'll just reflect on 2. St. Makeret's passing, he was there. Myself and Rachel and him sat at the front pew, and he was there. I could see him. He held himself together, sat, witness passing of someone who succeeded him, someone he groomed. He came out for duty honoring a Prime Minister that has fallen. A second moment I want to say was a moment where he came to the U.S. Embassy, and the U.S. Embassy has a stiff, you go what step, big step, then you also climb back up. It was on January 28th, the election night of 2020, election night of 2020, if I'm not wrong. It was done, and then in the evening he walked up, and it's a big steep climb. It took him almost 10 minutes to get up and eventually to his car. Why am I raising this? Even at very old age, he had a sense of duty to his country, and he participated in significant national moments all the way through till the end. Sabu can make him sense. You know me, we start with less of national security moments. Me asking you start with one of them. You got one of them, not the country again. You side. One of them work with you. Today, you must ask me this question as we ponder. In the months leading up to our most important year, there cannot be a greater important year than the independent, the birth year of our nation. I ask each and every one of us, why for the length and breadth of our country? If you don't like James Marape, don't dislike Papua New Guinea. You get James Marape out in 2007. Papua New Guinea is bigger than James Marape. The country must live on. The nation must come together. Papua New country teaches us about unity, about everything else. Richard Miles spoke on the 1980 experience. I want to close with the 2011 experience, when his government was stolen. So Somare dig deep into his inner reserve and told me and those who were with him, let it go, let's forgive, let's heal, let's unite, let's forgive. And he allowed parliamentary process to take precedent, and he just said, sorry, Yamina. Somare continues to teach us, even at the graves, good values and good character, good pasin, that me like asking you, you must pick a name blockade, you must be an a kissing slapasin, was saving country moving on into 50th and beyond the 50th. May his legacy live on, may his story continue to inspire us to the great Somare of the Murik Lakes. You've been truly a wonderful son of your country, a father of your country, a leader of your country. We are praying that your soul may continue to rest in peace until Jesus comes, and may we, those who are alive, reflect on his life and inspire ourselves to do better for Papua New Guinea. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Very inspiring, very challenging. Once again, let's put our hands together for the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable James Marape.